Hi there, Anna K. Morris here with a coaching video for you. And this is a little bit of a throwback to something that Jack made for Derek. Jack is my 3.5-year-old and Derek is my husband, called All About My Dad. And I just thought it was really perfect for today's video. So some things that he is answering about Derek. His favorite color is blue. That's correct. His favorite animal is a tiger. I'm not sure about that. The best food my dad makes is waffles. They are frozen waffles, but okay. My dad's favorite drink is coffee. That's pretty close. He likes to eat pancakes. Not sure about that, but okay, we'll go with it, Jack. Dad's favorite sport is football, probably. My dad's favorite TV show is Paw Patrol. That's not true. My favorite thing to do with my dad is play with me. That is true. And I love my dad because he reads books. He does kind of, but anyway, those aren't the funny ones. There are two that stood out. What does your dad do at work? No, my daddy doesn't go to work. It's summer. And the last one, which is what I want to talk about today. How old is daddy? I think 80. So, the point of all of this, the point of me sharing that with you is that Jack thinks Derek is 80. But context is what shapes, like perception is what shapes our reality, right? So for Jack, who's 3.5, he doesn't understand what numbers are. Like his favorite number right now is 80. We have no idea why. And there's no one in our family who's even 80. So like we don't know where it came from, but it's a big compliment. If you look at it, one perspective is that it's a huge compliment because 80 is his favorite number. So of course he would pick 80. You could look at it as like, it's really insulting. We had kids later in life. Like we live in a town where that's very uncommon. It's not so common in big cities, but like in smaller towns, it's less common. And Derek is 46. So he could easily interpret that as like, what the hell? Like my kid thinks I'm 80. I feel like 80. I'm out there with like, late 20 something or, 30 something year old dads. And like, here I am, like this senior citizen. Like, he could easily interpret it that way. I personally interpret it as a huge compliment. Jack loves him so much and he chose his favorite number. And I just got asked that by somebody, like, how do you work with like all of the chatter in the brain, right? Of specifically like thinking that it's too late, right? You have to first recognize that it's a crazy story you made up. And if you can't recognize that it's a crazy story that you made up, well then you should watch more of my videos, right? Because the thing is, like, we're all living our life through a lens, and the only problem with that is that we say that it's the truth. It's not. It's just your version of what happened. So I'll give you the example. I was in a coaching class, and you are supposed to remember like an early childhood memory, a specific one where something was wrong, one of your first early memories of like something being wrong. And I'll never forget this woman stood up and shared about how her mom got to the top of the stairs with like her on one side and then the groceries on the other side. And she tripped and she, was falling, and she saved the groceries and dropped the daughter down the stairs. And in that moment, that girl made it mean that her mom didn't love her. So now she has the lens of her life. Now that's through like 3, 4, 5-year-old eyes, right? Because it's usually where it happens. In fact, I'm watching Jack all the time wondering, like, I wonder when it's happening that he has the moment of something's wrong and he makes a decision and that shapes the trajectory of his life. And she then had the trajectory of, my mom doesn't love me. So then you create ways of being to live within that. This might be like, I might need a little bit more time than a coaching video to talk more about this, but I'll give you the example of I'll give you my example. So when I was little, I got caught playing doctor with like a girl around the corner. And I don't remember exactly, but I remember like the look of like, what was the look that I felt? Like, I remember the shame on my mom's face. I remember like I don't know if it was disgust. I mean, I'm sure it was none of these things. I'm sure it was just shock, right? Because I'm like 3 or 4, like playing doctor. And my mom was like, whoa, you know? And man, did I get perfect. Man, did I never want to see that face again. That's why, like, growing up, all my mom would have to do is to give me this one look. And it was that look that happened like in the basement when I got caught doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing. And I lived my whole life trying to avoid that face again. Not just from her, from anybody, right? So I was just desperate to never have anybody make that face at me. So much so that I sacrificed myself along the way. I was not true to myself. I did not do the things I wanted to do, all just desperate for the approval of others. But it really wasn't even the approval. It was that I never wanted to be up against that face again. I never really wanted to go there of like being ashamed like that, or feeling vulnerable, or being scared, or feeling like I wouldn't be loved if I didn't play it right. And that's all conditional. And this video, I'm here to remind you that love is not conditional. My mother's love was always there. That was just a shocked face of a parent. But we make things mean that we aren't loved. And we forget that we are always and eternally loved by the beloved, right? By the power beyond all of us, the thing that is nameless. You call it God, you call it religion, you call it whatever. It's the thing that made all the things, right? It's the energy all around us. There is actually only love, right? But in order to see love, you have to see darkness too. So as my ability to have deeper and more profound love grew, so did my ability to have like deeper and more profound sadness and shame and guilt and vulnerability had to grow too. And that is what we are mostly numbing out and avoiding, because we see it like it's a problem. We see it like it's something that'll kill us, and it mostly won't. Now, there are obviously like chemical imbalances, and maybe you need, something to get you through a hard time, right? And I think that that can be a solution, but mostly we just have to be willing to look at ourselves in the places that we don't like, the places that we are ashamed of, the places that quite honestly make us human, and we can be loved through that. So whatever you're afraid of is the thing to look at, because the thing that you're afraid of is what's keeping you away from love and intimacy and all the things that you truly, truly want. So if you're able to look at your shadow, if you're able to look at the darkness and say, hey, I love you anyway. I love you even when you don't think you're lovable. I'm here loving you. I'm always here loving you. And that's how I feel about you. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.